Welcome to another episode of Ask Dr. John, a father and daughter conversation series about my dad, Dr. John F. Leake's memoir, American Change Agent, a life and legacy of seeking diversity, equality, and inclusion. Today, we're talking about his doctoral journey. That's right, y'all. We're going to find out why he's Dr. John, how that all happened. Before we get started, I want to check in with Dr. John. How are you?
Doing fine. Yeah.
All right. Well, you are known as Dr. John to so many people. And before you became Dr. John, you started a journey that is a little different from most people when they get their doctoral uh, I guess the calling, the doctoral calling. So, why was getting a doctorate important to you?
Let me just say, at one point, I had no idea, thoughts that I would pursue a PhD. In fact, when I finished my master's degree work at the University of Michigan, I said, I'm done. That's it. But I guess as life does, it opens up other avenues. So when I was at working at the National Education Association and was working in the human and civil rights area, um, uh, some of the other staff members who were there, and uh, we were a very multiracial, multi-ethnic group. And so a couple folks started to talk about, well, why don't we do something maybe as a group? And so we uh, we formed a group, and the group, there were seven of us. Um, there were two black men. There were two white women, a white man, a Native American man, and um, uh, a Chicano woman. And so we started talking about it and said, well, let's explore, seeing if there was, a program out there that um, would meet, quote, our needs and our desires. And so at the time, and it wasn't very old, there was something called the University Without Walls. And there was a consortium of colleges and universities. And and so they had set up a, uh, a doctoral program, and it allowed you a lot more freedom than the traditional doctorate programs. So we made contact with them, and we filled out the application, and we had both our individual uh, information, but we also said we were a group, and we called ourselves Circes because we were wanting to combat institutional racism, sexism, ethnicism, and culturalism. And so we applied, and we got information back saying, well, we don't accept groups as a group. We would accept you and entertain you as individuals. Well, we were people who were always challenging things. That was part of our nature. That's the kind of stuff we were doing for the National Education Association. So we pushed back. and we said, uh, we'd like to have you really consider us as a group, and can we come and make a presentation? And so they and we challenged them this because we said, you said you were open to being different, and so we went to Ohio, and we went to Xenia, Ohio, and made our presentation, and we were effective, and they accepted us as both individuals and as a group, uh, and that started our journey. We uh, we went to the opening activity, which was held up in Northfield, Massachusetts, and they they did allow us to operate as a group and also operate with the larger group of people entering that year. Um, and we continued our journey. It was a lot of work because that we had to try to come up with a committee, and we wanted the committee to represent each of us. So we had um, Native American professors, Hispanic professors, black, white, and all. So we went along with what we were trying to do, and one of the big things we were wanting when it came time to some of the projects, we wanted to always make them projects that were inclusive. and sometimes when we were trying to get into certain places to try out some of the things that we were learning about racism, sexism, culturalism, and institutionalization. Um, some places looked at that, and I think they said, "This is a little scary. I don't know if we want to let this kind of group into our organization." And so we didn't always get into some projects that we wanted. At any rate, as we continued, we did lose a couple of folks. In fact, we lost the Chicana woman before we really had gotten away, but we replaced her with a black woman. And then the white man, he shortly after we came back from the opening session, he dropped out, and he kind of said, "Nah, this ain't for me." And so, uh, so then we were left with the two black men, and had a black woman, two white women, and the Native American man. And all of us were employees of the National Education Association. So we went along doing all of our different studies. We had Sunday seminars where we invited guest people to come in and share stuff. We we different ones I had responsibility for coming up with something, and we read a lot of books. We conducted a lot of activities, and so it was a pretty meaningful and powerful learning effort. Uh, but about 3 years in, and that was taking us a lot longer than some of the individuals who came in when we came in. And so there was a colleague, a person who is very figural in my life, LCY Cross, and she said she would facilitate a little bit of our sessions. And as she got in and she started realizing what all we were doing and about, she had a little session with us, and she said, "Listen, y'all are doing some outstanding work, but y'all need to get this doctorate finished." And she said, "And I don't think y'all gonna get it finished if you're gonna try to keep the group objective." And it made sense to us. And so at that point, we decided each of us were going to get our one thing done and get our doctorate. And so the white woman whose name was Delight Frost, she was the first one to finish. And then Kate Kirkham, the other white woman, she got hers. And then I got mine. And then the black woman, Debbie, got hers. And the black man, Larry Billups, was the last. Uh,
And we want to say Debbie's full name. So Debbie
oh, yeah.
Debbie Campbell
Debbie Campbell
Byron
Jackson Byard. No, Debbie Byard, I guess Campbell Jackson Kirby.
Kirby.
Just gets it all.
Yeah.
uh, so uh, we all did finish, have our doctorate. Um, what I like to share was that um, we didn't have the traditional quote dissertation. Um, we had what was called a uh, PDE, which stood for a project demonstrating excellence. And people then could, there were people who were pursuing a doctorate in music, and they might have um, a, what's like a concert, something that would take a particular aspect, and that would be their project demonstrating excellence, which built on all of what they had been doing. So my project demonstrating excellence, it was a notebook on combating racism, a practical tool for organizational specialists and trainers. And and this notebook, or this book, in essence, because it was a big, thick book, about that thick, it laid out a set of beliefs, assumptions, and concepts which could be translated into behaviors, skills, activities, and programs to combat racism. So that was what I did. And one of the things that helped me to finish my doctoral work was that I took a sabbatical from the NEA, and I had the option of a uh, a half year sabbatical at full pay, or a full year sabbatical at no, the full year was at a half year was full pay. I took a full year at half pay, and it allowed me to um, not be working, and it was a nice year because I was at home and I was just primarily doing writing. I was writing all of the stuff that was in the notebook, and and uh, it was a nice period for my kids because I was a house father. I was at home every day. They had a chance to experience me sending them off to school. Uh,
He was a
and
stay-at-home dad. That's what they
a
call him.
stay home dad, yeah. So I think they enjoyed it. I showed up sometimes at their schools and did other kinds of things that I guess a house dad would do.
A
Uh,
stay-at-home dad.
a stay-at-home dad. Okay, but anyway, I did finish, and and I've been able to use my my book uh, in a lot of work that I have done since completing my doctorate. Uh, so that's my journey. That's how it all happened.
I
Uh,
wanna I wanna backtrack just a few things just to
yeah.
let people know. So when did you actually what year did you actually start your doctorate?
Oh, we started in 71
And you finished it
and
in
77.
okay, so that's a good 6 years, and that
Yeah.
was working full time
Yep.
and also raising a family with mommy and um working because at that time you were also doing some consulting.
Yeah, I had started doing some consulting uh, when when opportunities presented themselves, and I had leave time from from the NEA. So it was a busy period.
And one of the things that has shifted since you earned your doctorate is the name of the institution. Can you tell everybody what the name of the institution became? It later became.
Yeah, it became the Union Institute. Initially, when we first started, they didn't have full accreditation, but a couple years after we started, they got full accreditation, fully accredited, and there have been a lot of outstanding people who have gotten their PhDs through the Union Institute, Union University.
And so the general area of expertise when we think of your doctorate, can you tell everybody what that is?
Yeah, my doctorate is in organizational behavior, organizational development. So, and and my focus was on racism and the broader area of diversity and inclusion and so forth. So, that's why I use a lot of what I studied and got the degree in the work that I do and the work that has been my emphasis over most of my career.
Okay, all right. So when you got your PhD, that was 1977. So you weren't even 40 yet. You were 30, 38.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So how did it feel to get your doctorate and tell everybody about how you chose to celebrate? Because the university that you were with, they didn't have the traditional graduation.
Yeah, they had what was called a terminar experience, and that was you again, or I again, could determine how I wanted my terminar to be or my celebration. And so I decided that I wanted to have it at my home, and my invited my committee, uh, and my committee was made up of uh, of five individuals plus the members of Circes. So uh, my my core faculty member was Dr. Andrews Taylor, who is also at the University of the District of Columbia. And then I had two adjunct faculty members. They were individuals who were in my field and that I wanted. And so one was Dr. Reginald Wilson, who was at Wayne State University in Detroit, and Dr. Mark Chesler, who was on the faculty at the University of Michigan and an extremely well known individual doing work in desegregation and other things. He was someone that later I involved in some of my work at the NEA. And then there were two uh, um, peer members, individuals, two individuals who came into the program the same year that Circes came into the program. And one was uh, uh, Dr. Argentine Craig, who has remained a friend and colleague. And we did some things in terms of contract work together. And then the other was Dr. Peter. Oh, Peter comes the last name. Please come to me.
I'll look it up. That's why you
Yeah,
have to have a copy of the book, really handy.
yeah. He was
Peter
a
Kramer. It's Peter Kramer.
Kramer. Yeah, he was an architect in Minnesota uh, that I've not had nearly as much ongoing contact with. The others I had lots of contact with, but that so they were my formal committee and who had to review my final PDE and approve it. And they did, and were did a lot. And then the members of Circes, which included Delight, Kate, Larry, Debbie, uh, and myself. Yeah, we were the five. So we had it at my home. And if I'm not mistaken, in the book, there is a picture of my committee on the deck of our home at the time that was in, well,
Landover.
Landover, yeah. Uh,
Landover, Maryland.
mhm. So, and one of the sort of really things that I just will never forget was my dad showed up in this bright, I mean, it was a bright yellow jacket. And he was going all around just saying, I'm the father of the graduate. I mean, he was so proud. And naturally, it meant a lot to me that he was that proud because at that point I was the first of the the Roberts, the Leeks, to have a PhD. So yeah, yeah, it was a great day,
All
wonderful day.
right. All
Yeah.
right. So, with that said, if you'd like to know more about Dr. John's doctoral journey and his life and work in diversity, equality, and inclusion, I encourage you to go to anandaleek.com/Dr. John to learn how you can purchase the book, American Change Agent. You can purchase it through IngramSpark, Amazon, and Barnes and Noble. All of the links are there. As self-publishers, we urge you to purchase directly through IngramSpark because we make more money when you purchase through IngramSpark. If you want to stay in touch with us, make sure you sign up for the newsletter list. We will be sending out information about our fall book reading series, as well as any other events and information. Is there anything else you want to say to the folks before we let them go, Dr. John?
Only that the book has a lot of helpful information for people who are in the field of organizational behavior, organizational development, and people who are doing things in diversity. So I I urge you to uh, get the book. You will get a lot of helpful things in the book. There's also a lot that says uh, what it takes to accomplish goals. Because I've been through the process, and I've tried to share a lot of that in the book.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.